This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we are here to start the Postgres 16 version DBA workshop, or you can say administration workshop. So today I will talk about the introduction. So before going to start Postgres, we should know about the database. So, why database is in demand in the IT industry or in any industry? Why database is required? Because a database is a place where we store the data. Excuse me. So, if you differentiate, if you break the database keyword, so data plus base. So we have the data in this world, and that data is growing very fastly. And so for data storage, we required something where my data can be stored, where my data can be retrieved when we require. So we build the base actually. So that base is we called as database. That is the software. So every day we interact with data, like we are listening the music from the playlist. So my playlist is the database in my smartphone. And suppose I'm taking a picture, taking a selfie, that is the trend in India and everywhere. And after that, we are uploading on Google Drive or social network or photo gallery. That becomes a database for my picture. And suppose you are buying clothes, shoes, and many more things from online. That is online trend after 2019. So my shopping cart is like a database. So the motto of these example is that databases are everywhere. Okay, so every human is attached with the data. Suppose you are opening an account, that is the database. When you are buying a SIM card, that is the database. Your information will store actually. When you are shopping something in retail store, that information goes into the database. So that is so in every daily life, we are dealing with the data, and so we require database. So by definition, if we talk about a database, is simply a structured collection of data. So basically, database is an application that is store the organized collection of record. Suppose you are opening an account, so you have to fill the form. Nowadays, it's online. So you have to fill the name, you have to fill the age, you have to fill the occupation, you have to fill the address, etc. So all these information will goes in the table, and table is stored in the database. So actually, we are storing the data in the database to access and manage later by the user very easily. So we allow the organized data to store in the tables, and we know that tables has rows, columns, and on top of that, we created index to give better query performance whenever we are fetching the data from the database. Now, the next term we heard in the database industry, that is relational database. So relation is basically happen between 2%, more than 2%, more than 3%, but relation cannot happen on 1%, right? So we require two things, three things, and four things. But in terms of database, we had a table. So suppose you want to fetch data between two tables, so you required to establish a relationship between two tables before accessing the data from the table on the basis of some certain conditions, like one column should be common in both, and one column should be primary key in one table, and foreign key in another table. So like that, we make a relation. So table can relate basically to one, one to many, and so we handle basically lots of amount of data, so that we can easily fetch the data later. Okay. Now, the more meaningful information or definition of is the database is a structured collection of data that is organized and stored in a way that allows for efficient retrieval, management, and updating of information. So basically, it is a electronic method or systematic method for managing and storing data so that later you can access. And key components of the database are tables, records, fields, schemas, indexes, relationships. So table is the first one where we actually store the data, and each table consists of rows and columns, and with each row representing a record actually, and each column representing a field, or you can say attribute. Now record, another name we say rows, and records are individual entries within a table, and each record contains information about a specific entity or item. And fields are basically known as column. So basically fields represent the attributes or characteristics of the data stored in a table, and each field corresponds to a specific piece of information such as name, data, or other numerical value. And the next term which we heard about is schema. So schema is basically the logical area where user stores the object, whatever object he or she is creating. So that object can be table, can be index, can be views. And queries is basically we user type it, and in that there is a language which is used, that is SQL, structure query language. I will talk about later. So user basically use the queries to retrieve specific data based on the condition which you put in where clause. Okay. And then the indexes is basically a technique which is used to optimize the performance of a database, to get the faster retrieval of data. And relationships, which is the base of the database of RDBMS, where two different tables can be connected, and common types of relationship can be there, and that relationship can be one to one, one to many, and many to many. Okay. Now, in the database world, we have two types of database. One is relational databases, like where tables are in the relation, and those databases are Postgres, actually, and Oracle database, and MS SQL, and MySQL also. Okay. And many actually. These are the top three databases. And the next one is, I will mention, I think forget. So that is MS SQL also. So these four databases are relational databases, and these four are on the top four. So how you can rectify my answer? So just go and check the DB engine ranking actually. DB engine. So DB engine is this. So here is the ranking mechanism. So the most popular databases we had this one. The first one is Oracle, that is relational multimodal. Second one is MySQL, relational multimodal. Third one is Microsoft SQL Server, that is relational multimodal. Fourth one is Postgres, relational multimodal. So these are the relational databases. Oh, sorry. Let me show the screen. Yeah. So these top four databases are Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL, Postgres, and all four databases are relational databases and multimodal databases. Okay. So, and the fifth one, MongoDB, this is no SQL database actually, and which is in top five, and it is document based and multi-model actually. Okay, so go back to my notes. Excuse me. Uh, yeah. So no SQL database is basically provide more flexible approach to storing and retrieving data. And the examples are MongoDB, Cassandra, and Redis. Okay. So that is the classification of the database. And then we have the definition of relational databases. So relational database is a type of database that organizes data into tables, and each table contains rows and columns with well-defined relationship between the tables. And this was introduced by F. Cod in 1970, and this relationship model based on mathematical set theory actually, which provides a structured and efficient way to organize and retrieve the data. Now the key characteristics of the relational database is almost same which we talk about the database. So table is there, rows is there, column is there, but the important point is primary key and foreign key. So primary key is the unique identifier for each record in a table, so that no duplication can happen, and it is used to establish relationship between tables. Foreign key is basically a column or set of column in one table that refers to the primary key in another table. So this establishes relationship between tables, and it helps to retrieve the information from the two table. And relationship basically, as I said, it is one to many, one to one, one too many, and many too many. Okay, so that is relationship. And normalization is basically relational databases are designed to follow the principle of normalization, which involves organizing data to reduce redundancy and dependency, leading a more efficient and maintainable database structure. Okay, so these are the key components of the relational database. And now examples are like this. So already I told, okay, by this. Oh, actually, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now the language of the relational databases. So that is SQL, structured query language, and this is the language which is used to access the database, and it is a domain specific language, and it is designed for managing and manipulating relational databases, and it provides a standardized way to communicate with the relational database management system RDBMS. And by this language you can perform select, you can perform update, you can perform insert, you can perform deleting. Okay, and it is NCSQL defined actually, and the current version of SQL is SQL 2023, and so that is the language part. And now key component of SQL is basically the four components it has. One is DQL, sorry. One is second is DDL, then third one is DML, then fourth one is DCL. So DQL basically the select statement, the primary command where you select the data from one table or two table on the basis of columns or all columns and the basis of condition. And DDL is basically to create the objects, to alter the object and drop the object. And DML is basically to insert the records in the object, to update the records in the object, to delete the records from the object. So that is DML. And DCL is basically for security purpose, which is used for managing the permission. That permission can be system permission or can be object permission. So we can grant and revoke. So those are the command. So SQL is basically a very good language which is used for every relational database management system, and it depends on version to version. So it's increasing quality-wise SQL language, adding new features, deprecated old feature, which is not required for today's world. So that is very good actually, and it is very easy to learn as compared to other programming language like C, Java, and C++. So now, what is Postgres? So basically, we don't call PostgreSQL. We just called as Postgres. Okay, so this is the way you can pronounce, and it is open source relational database RDBMS. Oracle is not open source RDBMS. MS SQL is not open source RDBMS. Only MySQL and Postgres are open source relational database management system. So what does it mean by open source? Means the code of these databases are freely available. Anyone can take the code, anyone can modify the code, and anyone can give its own name for that database. So that is the beauty of open source database. So Postgres is basically designed to handle various types of workload, whether it is a small, whether it is a large scale enterprise databases with multiple concurrent user. Okay. So now, what is the latest version, guys? It's going on. Anyone has idea? No idea? Okay. Excuse me. So that is, I will talk later about the version. So the key feature of Postgres is open source database, RDBMS database, and it gives you extensibility, it gives you concurrency control, it gives you data integrity and security, it gives you scalability, it gives you ACID compliance, which is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, which is the base of the RDBMS. And it gives you community support. It is a cross-platform compatibility, where you can install on Linux, on install on Windows, on install on Mac OS. And due to its robust feature and flexibility, nowadays Postgres is in demand, and people are moving from Oracle to Postgres because Postgres is open source database and less cheaper than it is a cheaper than Oracle. Oracle is very costly. And how Postgres work? So basically, as other relational database management system, the work is based is on client server architecture, where the database server manage data storage, retrieval, and processing, while clients, application, or users interact with the server to perform operations on the database. And connection establishment, client can connect to the Postgres database by specified connection. They can use TCP/IP, and the server listen for incoming connection on a designated port. So what is the port of Postgres? Anyone has idea? What is the port of Oracle? What is the port of MySQL? Any guys can reply in chat box. And whenever you are connecting any database, it require authentication and authorization. So upon connection, Postgres authenticate the clients using configured authentication method. Authentication method can be the password based, can be the certificate based, And Postgres support various types of authentication method to secure access to the database. And after authentication, Postgres perform authorization checks to determine the permissions of the connected client, whether it has access control is based on rules and privileges on database tables and other object. And then SQL query processing. So clients send SQL query to the Postgres server to perform operations like retrieval, insertion, updating, and deletion of the data. Then server process these processes. The server processes these queries using its SQL query parser, planner, and executor. So these are the phase which happen in when user execute any statement. So parser is basically break down the SQL query into a data structure that can be used internally, and planner basically the most efficient way to execute the query. It can take the use of index, it can take the join method, other factor, and execute the query based on the plan generated by the planner. Okay, so in Oracle we call it as optimizer actually. And transaction management, it gives concurrency control, it gives. Okay. And data storage, Postgres stores data in table, and we know that each table has rows and columns. And Postgres is highly extensible, so it allow user to define custom data types, function, and procedural language. And maintenance and optimization is also the key feature. So Postgres provides tool and utilities for database maintenance. And backup and recovery is the part of every database. So every RDBMS or other databases gives you backup and recovery concept, where you can take the physical backup, where you can take the logical backup, and in that case, if suppose any failure happens, you can restore and recover. Okay, so like this. So what is the reason for popularity? Because Postgres has several reasons to getting popular in terms of RDBMS database. So first is open source database. It is freely available for use, modification, and distribution. And second is it has many rich set of features for queries, complex queries, indexing data types, and it based on ACID compliance, and it gives you scalability and performance if your data load is increasing. And it allows user to define custom data type, functions, and procedural languages. And it has vibrant and active community of developers, users, and contributor. So these community actually ensures continuous development, support, and improvement of the Postgres database actually. And Postgres is compatible with various operating systems like Linux, Unix, Windows, Mac OS. And Postgres also gives you feature like SSL certificate, role-based access control, and encryption. And Postgres has gained support from commercial vendors, that is EDB. Okay, that gives you the support. And Postgres has been in development from several decades, so that's why it has proven record. And the most important thing is that it is open source solution, so it is very cost effective, especially for those organizations which are looking to minimize licensing fees, which are basically associated with the databases. So the cost factor is very much for Postgres popularity. And now history of Postgres. Oracle born in 77, MySQL born in 79, Postgres born in 1980. Okay, so you can remember like that 77, 79, and 80. So there is a dedicated community of developers which actually develops the Postgres from 1980. So the first Postgres project is started in 1986, and it is initiated by Michel, who was the computer science professor at the University of California, Berkeley. And along with his team, he developed a relational database system which supports for extensibility. And the Postgres object was initially an extension of the large database system. So the Postgres is derived from PostgreSQL. So that is the word actually, which is the base of the Postgres. And the project basically focusing on addressing limitation in Grace and includes support for complex data type. The first version, official version 1, is introduced in 1996, and with the release of Postgres version 1, the Postgres Global Development Group was formed, that is PGDG. It was in 1996. And then after that, version number is adding in this journey. And in 1990, Postgres introduced multi-version concurrency control. So that was the groundbreaking feature that allowed for concurrent transaction without blocking them. Okay. And then community growth and feature enhancement have happened in 2000. Then Postgres Development Group officially incorporated as a non-profit organization in 2005. Then major releases and features happened in 2010, where version 9 was streaming replication, where version 9.1 was synchronous replication, and from 9.2 it gives JSON support, which Oracle now is using. And after that, many development is going on. So if you go history by year, so 1986 project was born. Then 1990 it evolves RDBMS, and 1994 Postgres name changed to PostgreSQL actually. And in 1996 Postgres release open source project, and late 90s and early 2000, a Postgres development group is formed, and early 2000 Postgres continue to evolve with major releases. Then in 2005 Postgres version 8 release, and in 2010 Postgres 9 is released. In 2015 Postgres 9.5 was released. Then 2006 Postgres 9.6, in 2016 Postgres 9.6 release, and 2017 Postgres 10 released, and Postgres 11 was released in 2018. Postgres 12 is released in 2019. Postgres 13 is released on 2020. Postgres 14 is released on 2021. Postgres 15 is released on 2022. Postgres 16.6 version is released in 2023. Now Postgres 16.2 is released. Okay. And this is the overall journey of the version wise of Postgres. Okay. And these are the versions which introduce some latest major version, latest release, and end of the support actually. So all the version start. So now when I download the Postgres in January, it was 16.1 version, but today when I download, it is 16.2. So it was introduced in 8 February 2024 actually. Okay. Now Postgres feature already we covered, but in different naming. So it is open source, it is ACID compliance, it gives you extensibility, it gives you standard compliance, it gives you data type, it gives you indexes, it gives you full text search, it gives you advanced query optimization, and it gives you multi-version concurrency control, it gives you replication, it gives you partitioning, it gives you security feature, it gives you triggered and stored procedures, it gives you foreign data wrappers, so it gives you scalability, it gives you community support. So all these feature belongs to Postgres become more powerful. And disadvantage and drawback of Postgres. So complexity of configuration, okay, which can be overwhelming of a beginner. So tuning the database for optimal performance may require a good understanding of these things. So in terms of that, this is the disadvantage. Otherwise, it is not the disadvantage. And if you want to learn this Postgres, so the transition to PostgreSQL may involve learning curve like SQL syntax, administration, and certain features which may differ from other RDBMS databases. And concurrency control overhead and indexing overhead happened. Memory usage happened, means many component can use more memory as compared to other database system. And Postgres gives you auto increment in column limitations. So this is the limitation, and it has limited GUI tool available for. So the one is pgAdmin, and no built-in sharding. So which is the new feature actually, sharding. And performance in write-heavy workload, where performance may not be as high as some NoSQL databases. Okay, and it integrates with some technology. Some specific application or platform may have better support for other databases and limited support for geospatial data, and it less pre-packaged optimization. So even though these are the drawback, but it is important to note that many of these limitations can be mitigated with proper configuration, tuning, and understanding of Postgres' strength and weakness. So that's why don't go into that thinking that Postgres is not good. Postgres is all good. Now, Postgres version, as I said, Postgres version started from 1996, and the first official release as Postgres 6, then Postgres 7 in 2000, Postgres 8 in 2005, Postgres 8.2 in 2006, Postgres 8.3 in 2008, Postgres 8.4 in 2009, Postgres 9 in 2010, Postgres 9.1 in 2011, Postgres 9.2 in 2012, Postgres 3 in 2013, Postgres 9.4 in 2014, Postgres 9.5 in 2016, Postgres 9.6 in 2016, and the Postgres 10 it is introduced in 2017. Postgres 11 introduced in 2008, Postgres 12 is introduced in 2009, Postgres 13 is introduced in 2020, Postgres 14 is introduced in 2020. Postgres basically built on the performance and improvement. So that is version 15. It was in October 2022, and Postgres 16 was released September 2023. So this is the latest version, and in that 16.2 is the latest option. And what are the feature added in Postgres 16? So it gives you logical replication. It gives you monitoring of IO statistics by pg stat underscore IO. It improves performance. It gives you SQL based and JSON constructor and identify, and it supports for regular expression. And some features are obsolete or renamed. So these are the features: recovery.conf, pgxlogdump, pgrest, reset xlog, pg receive xlog, so like that. And if we talk about the variables, so we had session variable, we have global variables, we have configuration variable, we have environment variable, we have column variable. Like these are the types of variables. So I will talk about later when we go specific. Now that's it from my side theory. Now we start the practical. So first of all, before starting to check the installation, so first you need to check the services. So press Windows R. So services.msc comes, just take it and enter. So it will pop up the services. So let me show you something else. So entire screen I am selecting. Now hide it. So I said just window R services.msc. Then when you click on it, it will open a window of services. Now go to P. So when you go for P wise, so just check where is the Postgres. So this is the Postgres. So this services is already there because I have installed. So I need to stop first this services and deinstall. So I am stopping the service. And after that, we go to C drive. Okay. And in that, go to program files and just yeah, so see, this is Postgres actually. So before going to here, just click the control panel, uninstall a program, and here there is a PostgreSQL 16. Just right click and uninstall. It will pop up and it is going to uninstall. Okay, so like this, you will uninstall the product. So it asking entire application. I will say yes. So after that you press the next button and it is uninstalling. So there is some problem. So physically I have to remove this. So just press the OK and just go to the program file and just delete this folder. Okay. So when you say yes, continue. So it is deleting. Just go to program files and check if it is there. Another one, no. Then go to program data. So here you had Postgres. So I think no. Okay. So these are the location which you can check. And now I'm going to my location. So here software is this. Okay. So now I am installing the database or Postgres for Windows. So just right click or just double click. It will pop up the window. So just wait. So it is asking the permission. I had given the permission and now it is opening. So now this EDB, that is the company which gives support. Okay. So that comes. Now here if you say next, so it will give you installation directory. So it is stored in program file with the name of Postgres and then the version 16. So like this it will give the path. So if you don't remember, so just store actually. So just open a notepad, and these are the path for installation directory, and then go for next. Then it will tell select the component you want to install. So just uncheck the stack builder if you want. Otherwise, Postgres server pgAdmin 4 is the graphics tool, and command line tool is this. Okay, so it depends. Now after that, this is the data directory, which actually also stored here. So after the previous part, it says data folder, and then it asks the password for the user, which basically Postgres, and then the default port is 5432, and then it is the locals to be used by a new database cluster. So these are the languages actually. So I will go by default local, and then say next, and then this is the summary. So you can also store and copy in the file, so that you can easily find out where my information is stored actually when we install. Then say next, and after that again press the next, and it will start setting the Postgres on your Windows machine. Got it? Okay, here guys. Just wait for a few minutes. So now it is finished. So if you don't want to stack builder update, just uncheck and then press finish. So now installation is completed. Okay, so how you will check? Just say Windows R services, and go to P, and see this is the Postgres 16 64-bit. So this is the way you can find out about the version. Okay, so let me show you window wise. Okay, so the installation done and installation is complete. Okay, I miss the software download actually. So let me show you that also. So from where you can download the software. So these are the links actually, which is you can use. So just go here and type postgres.org, and here in the download section is here and here also. So anyone you can click, then go to Windows and then download the installer certified by EDB. Okay, so when you click on this, so 16.2 comes. So Linux version, Linux 32 version, Mac version, and Windows version, and 32 is not supported. From 10 onwards, 32 is not supported. Now, when you click on this, so this will goes to this site, and then download is started. Okay, so already I have installed, so just stop it. Okay, so this is the way you can download the software of Postgres. And let me show. So all the pictures I have posted here, so you are good to go. So these are the version. In January it was 16.1, and now I downloaded today, it is 16.2. And these are the installation picture we just showed you. So all the things I have pasted over here. If you get any confusion in installation, you can go and check these docs. Now, how you will work actually. So Postgres gives you graphical user interface as well as command line interface. So graphical user interface is pgAdmin 4. When you click on this, so it will pop up a window for 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 graphical user interface. Okay, so just wait. So this is loaded. So this graphical user interface comes, and what it will do, if you click on the left side server, so here it is asking the password. So when you say password, then it will come up, and then Postgres version. In that, if you click on database, so by default Postgres database is created. And in terms of user wise, Postgres user is created, and default table space are two: pg default, pg global. Okay, so this is the in pg command line tool. So all things I have posted here. Now, how to create a database from Postgres? So just come here, do right click, and when you say database, it will ask the database name. So test db1, and rest I don't want to give anything. And definition, no need to change anything. Security, no need. Parameter, nothing. Advanced, nothing. And the SQL, so this is the statement which will work behind these tabs. So when you say save, it will create the database. Constraint failed actually. Insert into database. Okay, close. Yes. I think earlier it was there. Okay, let's go and create different name. So test test db2. Okay, and don't give anything. Okay, just save it. Unique constraint fail. Insert into background. This. Okay, we will see later. So this is the one graphical tool. By that we will create the database. So if you see my notes, so this is the way test db1, nothing changed, nothing changed, nothing changed. This is the command, and then when you save it, it will create test db1 database. Okay, so like this it comes here, and after that, that's it. Now the second command line tool is psql shell actually. When you open it, So it will ask about the local host information. So I will not say anything, just enter. Databases is Postgres, just enter. Port is 5432, just enter. Username is Postgres, just enter. And the password you need to type it and then enter. So this is the Postgres actually uh, shell where we can do the things from this command line. So these are the commands. So already I have done here. These are the things. So if you want to see how many databases we have, so just type /l. So by default, Postgres template 0, template 1 is created. Okay. So drop test db1 we created actually. Okay, because of other user session is it is not dropping. Okay, now you want to see anything in your database, so you can see. So what is the version of this database? So select version. So Postgres 16.2 compiled by Visual C++ build and 64-bit. So this is the one information, and list of all databases. So you can type /du. So Postgres is the one database which has the roles: super user, create role, create database, replication, bypass, RLS, and role name is Postgres. So like that you can find out the information. And if suppose you want to take a help, so just say question mark where it is. Yeah, so these help comes. So you can take the help if suppose you don't know about this. So just enter all the information comes, and when it is end it will give the prompt of Postgres. Okay, so it will display all the things. And timing of your queries, you can use this command. So timing is on, so you can manage. And these queries I'm showing you: select version and then select current date. So see that at the end time is coming, and this is the current date. And then how many databases you have? So we have pg dollar underscore database views. So these are the 5 databases we have. And if you want to create database, so you can create it by create database command, but it is already exist, so just give 3, and now database is created. So from command line I'm not getting any error. So if you check again this, so 6 databases we have. Okay, and you can check how many table spaces we have. So there is a view pg underscore table space. So these are the two default pg default and pg global table space. And suppose you want to do any calculation, you can say select 2 plus 2, so it will give you output 4. So like that you can do also. And if suppose what is the role names, you can check from pg underscore roles. So these are the roles are available in Postgres. So we will talk about in user management. And also you can check role can log in. Okay, so that is the view. So this is Postgres actually, which can log in. And again /h also you can use for help. So all the commands like alter, create, drop, alter text, suppose you forget that, so all the commands from A to Z which comes, so see that. So these are the commands. Okay, so that we got it clear. Yes. Okay. Okay. So that's it from my side today. Actually, actually, actual time was 9 a.m. But due to some of my meetings, I postponed to 10, and now it is about 11. So I will not go further for today's session. And next session onwards, we will do morning 9 a.m. Actually, to one and a half hour to 2 hour we will do. So if you have any questions, you can ask. I'm stopping the
This
actually.
conference will now be recorded.
So that when people want, so these are the topics which I will cover. So like introduction, Postgres SQL. I think. Oh, just a second. Yeah, so Postgres installation on Windows we have seen, on Linux we will see. Then we talk about Postgres architecture. Then we talk about configuration files like parameter file. Then how to create a database, how to modify a database, what are the user management, what are the schema management, how to create tables, how to modify tables, how to modify table data, how to query table data, and then how to create table space. So we'll discuss over there what these two table space will do. Like system and sysocs, we have these two table space in Postgres, and then backup and restoration, then maintenance, then PSQL command line interface, then pgAdmin, then replication. So these are the topics which I will cover. So same thing I have mentioned in the demo. So that session, that topics I will cover.